Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Isabel and this is my library. In today's video, I bring you my reading journal update for the month of July. Alright guys, so it's time to update my reading journal and reflect everything I read in the month of July. It's taken me about 2 weeks into August to film this, but finally I'm settling down to be able to record this video and update my journal and see where I'm standing with my various challenges and everything that I like to keep track of in my reading journal. So I'm going to go ahead and get my stack of books that I read this month and move them to the side. Also going to put some of my sticker books to the side for now, but I will be using those in a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right in to my reading journal. All right, so I think I'll go ahead and start by updating this with all the books that I read this month. And I'm going to go ahead and look at my Goodreads. I like doing it in the order that I read everything in. So I'll go ahead and start adding those to this list. And as always, I'll speed you through it and then tell you a little bit about the books I read. So I went ahead and updated this. This month I read Danganronpa, the animation, volume 1, and I gave that 5 stars. The Night Guest by Hildur Notstutter, and I gave it 4 stars. Graveyard Shift by ML Rio, and I gave that 2 stars. The Saturday Night Ghost Club by Craig Davidson, and I gave that one 3 stars. Picnic at Hanging Rock by Joan Lindsay, and I gave that one 4 stars. Water Moon by Samantha Soto Yambao, 3 stars. All Fours by Miranda July, I gave that 4 stars. The Indigo Room by Stephen Graham Jones, gave that 3.5 stars. And Jackknife by Joe Hill, gave that one 3 stars. All right, so time for us to go to the Goodreads challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out to help me with that. And I'm going to go ahead and write down or track the genres for each of these that I read. And I'll go ahead and do that now, and I'll speed you through it, and then we will talk. All right, guys, so we're back. And starting with number 55. So I read Danganronpa, which is a manga. Then I read The Night Guest, which is horror. Then Graveyard Shift, which is also horror. Then The Saturday Night Ghost Club, also horror. Then I read Picnic at Hanging Rock, which is a classic. Then I read Water Moon, which is a fantasy. Then I read All Fours by Miranda July, which is literary fiction. And then I read the two short stories from the Shivers collection that are both horror, Jackknife and Indigo Room. So yeah, so that is how my Goodreads challenge is going. I seem to be reading a lot of horror. There's a lot of horror going on. I think because there have been some readathons. I know I read a lot of these for Summerween. So I was reading a lot of spooky things. But yeah, I just like having this visual representation of what types of books I am reading. And it's another fun thing to track. Okay, so let's see if we've made any progress in my 25 and 25. So let's go around and look. Okay, so I've read these two this month, so there's some progress. Oh my gosh, and I also read The Graveyard Shift. I forgot, this excites me so much. I forgot that when I was planning my Summerween TBR, I forced myself to pick from books that I knew I wanted to get to and I wanted to read. And you know what? I'm so glad I did that because it's difficult. It's difficult to find a way of putting some of these things on your TBR. I don't know why that happens. So, I want to read them, but then my TBRs get so packed with other things, and then it just becomes real difficult to make time for it. So, anytime that I can build my own TBR from things that I want to read, I'm going to do that. So, unfortunately, these two were not great ratings, but at least I got them read. So I'm going to go ahead and mark them here on the side. So I did read Graveyard Shift, like highlighting them, and The Night Guest, which I did enjoy, and then right over here. Okay. So unfortunately, Graveyard Shift was only 2 stars. Oh, this is a brand new pen. So 2 stars. All right. And then The Night Guest was 4 stars. So this was a good one. The Saturday Night Ghost Club was 3 stars. And let's see if there's anything else. No, nothing else. So far in my 25 and 25, I have read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. So there's still 20 books I haven't read. So I'm still very behind, but I do have plans for a lot of these. I'm putting these two soon in my TBR. And yeah, not bad. Not bad. Then my second chance to read 24 and 24. Let's see if I didn't get to this or this or this or this. I'm still currently working on reading this. This came on to my list for Summerween. It was the only thing I didn't finish in Summerween, and it's taking me so long to read this. I'm not really sure why it's taking me this long. I'm interested enough, but I just keep leaving it to the side. I'm not sure why, but I will be finishing this up very soon. So I did not read any of these. And then let's see the ones from 2023. Nope, nope, no, 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 no. Okay. no progress in these. All right, so now we are at my alphabet challenge. So I will go ahead and start putting in the titles for the various letters of the alphabet. And I will speed you through this, and then, of course, we can talk. Okay, so I went ahead and updated this. I was happy I got a G, graveyard shift, so one less letter I have to worry about. So I've played around throughout the years with my design of this. I think last year I maybe had like 6 spreads for this. I divided the letters a little bit differently. This year I decided to do one spread, and I think I'm a little bit tight on space. Certain letters, the boxes are already getting full, so I think for next year I'm going to bump it up to 2 spreads so that the letters can have a little bit more space. So far I'm missing something with the letter K and the letter Q and the letter V and the letter X and the letter Z. So I'm not doing terribly. I'm pretty happy with how my alphabet challenge is going. All right, so it's time to color in my bookshelfie. So exciting. So if you haven't seen my videos before, what I basically like doing is getting a marker that kind of matches the color of that book, and I color that spine in, and then I go ahead and add it to my shelfie. I'm going to be using my Tombow markers for this, which you guys have seen before. One of my prized possessions. I love these markers, and I hope you've used them before or that you've tried them out before, because they truly are wonderful, guys. If you're into arts and crafts, I highly recommend these because they're just so versatile. They're so good quality. I do have a review video up on my channel where I do review these, so if you're interested, take a look at those after this video. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on this, and of course I will speed you through it. right, guys, I updated my shelfie and it's looking so full and colorful and it makes me so happy. I love it. Yeah, so I do add more. My reading goal is always like 80 books. I mean, I do change it up a little bit from year to year, but it's been 80 for a while. I always break 100, but I, let myself have a goal of 80 to not add too much pressure, to allow myself to read longer books if I want to, so I don't feel so constrained with a number, right? And I do add, I believe, 100 some little books, so I've never run out, thankfully. I mean, running out might be a good thing, right? Because it means I read more that year. But I usually do about 100 on here, and it fits perfectly fine. I did, in case you wanted to see these, I know I've shown them off a lot, but since this might be your first time watching my videos, these are the Tombow pens I just used, the dual tip. So we have the beautiful brush on one side, and then we have this marker tip. It's like a bullet type marker tip on that side. And these are just beautiful, guys. They're absolutely wonderful. You can, of course, buy them loose. You can buy them in smaller packs as well, like with different themes, pastels or, whatnot. But I just, after collecting a couple of the sets throughout the years and falling in love with them, I made the commitment to get the full set. So yeah, so now we're done with my shelfie. Let's go ahead and continue. So as you guys know, I always pre-planning, put a lot of post-it notes for myself to remind myself of what I can put for certain categories and to facilitate my reading journal updates for you. So this is the Buzzword reading challenge. I do the Buzzword reading challenge every year. This year it has two components, the Buzzword, like always, and also the cover one. So this year it's expanded just a little bit. So I did read something with an event. I went ahead and put picnic at Hanging Rock as an event word, so I am going to be using that one. Let me just double check that I don't have any of these other ones. Okay, so I do, as you know, pre-print a lot of these on my end to facilitate the process of the reading journal. I usually have them cut before I film the video, but today I decided to leave them so that you can kind of see what they look like. So I print 4 little covers using my Canon Ivy. And I actually believe I can show it to you. Let me put the top on. My Tombow markers. And here is my Canon Ivy sticker printer. I've had this for years, guys, and it's wonderful. If you do a lot of journaling or stickering, I know I've talked about this a lot. I don't think I've ever shown it to you, but it's pretty much this one, the Canon Ivy. And that's what I use to make all my little stickers. At the beginning of the year, when I'm printing in bulk, let's say I have like 30 covers that I want to print for read this many books in here or there, I do use my Cricut machine, and I use the Cricut and sticker paper to kind of print those out. I may have done that, I believe, for these. Maybe I did. No, not this, not these. But I have done them before in the past, and I love using the Cricut and doing it on sticker paper. Those work beautifully too. These are just a little shinier and thicker, and so I find that they're more convenient if I'm just printing like 4 little things or 5 little things, as opposed to having to spend an entire sheet of paper if I'm using the Cricut. So I use them both interchangeably, but I do use the Canon Ivy more often than not. So after I've printed my 4 of them, I just go ahead and cut out the cover. So here I'm cutting out Picnic at Hanging Rock. And it comes out perfect. I just peel off the backing and stick it right on. It's super easy, and I find that I make better use of the stickers when I'm able to print a collage per page, and they fit perfectly fine. I also don't want to print full size of those because imagine, like, these are really big, guys. So it's very convenient to have this size for this. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one there. I'm going to erase my ideas. I always map out ideas for books on the back, and then once I fulfill it, I erase around them. So this is Picnic at Hanging Rock for an event, using the word picnic. So I'm going to go ahead and add this, Picnic at Hanging Rock. Okay. So there we have it. So I'm still missing a couple of these. I know people do these different ways. They do them monthly. They read the animal in the cover or the animal word in April, or I don't really like putting so many constraints on my TBR, so I just kind of do this as a year-long readathon, and that's what works for me. So I also went ahead and put here that I did read something that has a celestial thing on the cover, which is Water Moon. So I'm going to be putting Water Moon right over here for celestial. So here's Water Moon. Perfect. And I had enough space for these cover ones to do 2 per category. So I started doing that to myself, and now I'm kind of stuck. So I have all of them. I've completed this actually, but if I want to really complete it and do 2 each, I'm still missing pattern, eyes, and weapons. So we will eventually maybe get to them, but if this is how it ends, I'm happy because I was able to do 1 per category. All right, so this is my TBR book recommendations. I have not, I think, read any of these, so nothing to update. For the fuchsia book, okay, I am going to be using Night Guest, and I know it's kind of like pinkish, but there's also a lot of fuchsia here on the cover, and that is a difficult color to find, so I think I'm happy using Night Guest for that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out and use it for my fuchsia. And believe it or not, I'm going to be then done with the Reading the Rainbow Challenge. This is my first year, guys, doing Read the Rainbow Challenge. I had so much fun with it. I've never done this. Let me know if you've done any of these challenges or if you participate in any of these challenges. And again, I always talk about this on my channel that I love reading. First of all, reading is so much fun for me. Obviously, I'm a booktuber, so clearly you know that. But I have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun mixing in the things I love with my habit of reading, or, my obsession with reading. So I love games. As you guys know, I'm always talking about games. I love any game. I love video games. I love board games. I love card games. So I love reading games, and these challenges are so much fun. They make me look forward to building TBRs. They're wonderful. And when you complete them, it gives you like a really nice sense of accomplishment. And I love that. And it gives me excuses, right, as if I need any, to use my stickers and my washi tape and my journals, and just again combining more of my hobbies, which obviously are also journaling and stickering. And yeah, it's just so much fun, guys. And I completed it, and this looks so beautiful. um I'll see if I do another take on this. I had purchased this from an Etsy shop, and this was the inspiration to create this. So that's how I kind of did it. I really didn't have space for these 2, so I just included those on there, but I was just so happy to do it. So I'll see what I do next year with it, but I like how this year's came out, and it was my first time doing this, so yay, it's completed. So much fun. So this is my TBR jar picks. So right now my 3 picks are up and Ariel's 3 picks are up, my husband's picks. I'm currently reading The Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas, so making some progress in that one. These I still have to get to, so nothing to really update for my TBR jar. All right, so, oh, let me put this back. I always leave this sheet out. So now we have the Booktube book club, and I have fallen a little bit behind, but I plan on catching up. So let me go ahead and add the Ghostwriter, because the Ghostwriter is the pick for the month of August. Again, if you're not familiar with the book troop is the book club for Gabby from Gabby Reads channel, and I've been doing these book troop read-alongs for years. I'm a big fan of Gabby Reads, been watching her for so many years, and ever since she started the book troop, I've been faithfully trying to read a lot of these. It also helps that they're all books I'm interested in reading, so this book club really aligns with my tastes. And these are all books that are already on my TBR, so that's why I enjoy participating in it. So I have read the January, February, and March. Heads up, I have read the April pick as well. I finished that in the month of August. So you will see me update this later. But right now I'm just doing my July updates. But I did read this. And now I just added Ghostwriter, which is the August pick. So I am behind 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we'll see if I'm able to get caught up. Same thing with the Literally Dead Book Club. This is Kayla from Books and Lala. This is her book club. Again, just like Gabby Reads, I have been watching Kayla for many years. Incredible channels, both of those. Incredible booktubers, YouTubers. So I do try to keep up with both of these book clubs. And so the August pick for Kayla's channel is Julie Chang is Dead. This was already on my TBR. There is a lot of hype with this book. People are really liking it. I'm interested in the premise and wanted to pick it up. So, yeah. And I'm a little bit behind in this one as well. So, I read the March book, loved it. Read the April book, really liked it. And that's about it. Everything else I need to get caught up on. Then we have my Read Christie. So I read January and February, and I have been slacking a little bit on these. However, I have already read the August pick as of filming this video, but I will not update that now. I will update that next month. But I did read 1, 2, Buckle My Shoe already. All right, so this I do have to pick. So my TBR card game, I did read this one, and then I ended up picking this one. So I did read this, so I do have to update this. So I did give this 3 stars. Now I'm ready for my next pick. So I do have to pick another one of these, and I will do that when I film my TBR video for next month. All right, the blurb game. Let's see how we are doing with the blurb game. So nothing to update on these as I have not finished them yet. But I do have to update more for the blurb game from the books I finished now. So the blurb game has 2 spreads, but they're not back to back because I did not anticipate so many of these. So I'm going to go ahead and move you now to the back. And here are some of my notes. So let's see if I can kind of piece this together. So I did read Jackknife, so I'm going to highlight that. However, Jackknife was not blurbed by anyone. I do have the KU Kindle Unlimited version of this. That's how I read it on my Kindle, and it's the Kindle Unlimited version of the story that comes as a part of the Shivers collection, and there was no blurbing, so nothing will yield from this. It's just kind of a dead end for now. But a bunch of the newer things I read are taking me elsewhere, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap that up and kind of make little stickers for them. So I'm going to do that now, and of course I'll speed you through it, and then I'll come back and kind of explain everything. Alright guys, so this is updated. So here are the updates that I was able to complete. So I read Watermoon, and Watermoon was blurbed by the author of the Book of Doors. So this came onto my TBR now. And I read The Graveyard Shift by ML Rio, and that was blurbed by, I believe, Chuck Wendig, who wrote Staircase in the Woods. So that came to my TBR. I read, gotta highlight that one, I forgot, The Saturday Night Ghost Club, and that brought House of Leaves to my TBR, which I'm super intimidated about, but at least now it's officially on my TBR, so we'll see how I can manage to do that. And then I guess I also read, and it brought Villa by Rachel Hawkins into my TBR, which I'm excited about because I do love Rachel Hawkins' thrillers. They're super fast to read and a lot of fun. So again, in case you're new to my channel or new to these videos, the blurb game is just another little game I invented for myself. Whenever there is a book, I'll show you a very quick example here. Whenever there is a book that I finish reading, I check to see who has blurbed it, and I look at the different blurbs that are in the different parts of the book. So, for example, here we have praise for the Saturday Night Ghost Club, and this was blurbed by Mark Z. Danielewski, which is the author of House of Leaves. So if any of these people who blurb or books that are referenced in the blurbs are books that are already on my TBR or books that I own and I'm interested in reading, I go ahead and add them immediately to my immediate TBR. So that's just another fun little way of picking books for myself. And yeah, that's where we are with the blurb game. Okay, let me go back to the initial page. For sure, next year I need more than one spread for the blurb game. And of course, I will take you with me toward the ending of the year. I actually start working on my next year's journal, kind of like in November, a little bit earlier sometimes, depending on how I'm doing with time. But it takes me a long time, guys, to set up my reading journal from one year to the next. So, especially at the end of the year, where I'll be wrapping up a lot of my end of year content for YouTube and all of that. So, I will start that process early and I'll take you with me. And we'll be able to look at my journal from last year or the year before, and then this journal, and kind of see if I want to bring back any challenges or page designs and stuff like that. So, I will take you with me on that journey. All right, so now we are going to be adding years of publication for all the books that I read. So this is something new that I am tracking this year. I want to see when the books that I am reading are published. I obviously know that I am reading a lot more recent books, things that were released in 2025, 2024, 2023. As you can see, I've already added so many 2024 releases down here. I like how I did this year, but maybe I want to do something a little different, because right now it's difficult for me to know exactly how many 2025 releases I've read. I'd have to count one and then move here to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I've read 11 2025 releases, but I'd have to count. So maybe next year when I am designing this, I find another way of doing it. I'm not sure. I do like aesthetically how this looks, so I'll see. I'll see what I can kind of come up with. But nonetheless, let me go ahead and start filling these in. And again, for this, I do enjoy using my Sharpie S Note highlighters, creative markers, because they are darker. And yeah, that's what, and I try to match them more or less to the cover color. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of this, and I will speed you through it so it doesn't take forever. All right, guys, so we were able to complete this. So here we have Danganronpa, which was 2016. Then we had The Night Guest 2024. Then The Graveyard Shift 2024. Then 2018, The Saturday Night Ghost Club. Then Picnic at Hanging Rock, I was able to fulfill 1967. So yes, I filled something in here. Then Water Moon, which was 2025. Then All Fours, which was 2024. And then lastly, both 2025 releases, The Indigo Room and Jackknife. So again, I'm getting very close to filling in these spots. And I do have some scattered numbers around here, but still a lot of blanks. So I'm going to try to figure out how best to do this next year to optimize my space and be able to tally things more easily. All right, so Scavenger Hunt has kind of been at a standstill. I still haven't read The Comfort of Crows. I need to get to that, and that's kind of holding back this process. Still haven't read The Lion Game, even though I desperately want to. No updates with this so far. The Jenna Book Club. Then no updates here either for now. I'm sure I might be able to find some updates here. Okay, so this is my Kindle Unlimited TBR. And basically, with Kindle Unlimited, it could be a little bit overwhelming because there are so many things to read there. And you can only have 10 things out at once. So it makes it a little difficult sometimes for me to remember what I have or what I don't have. So let me just check if any of these I was able to read. Well, the X I'm currently reading. Okay, so I did have two that I did read that were not on here. So I'm going to go ahead and add those now. I did read The Indigo Room and Jackknife. So let me very quickly add them. The Indigo Room and Jackknife. And I did read those even though they were not officially on my list. But I did get to them. And I do enjoy my KU subscription. So many good books on there. So many new authors I like hearing about. So I do this to kind of prove to myself that, I should continue with the subscription because I try to make use of it if it's something that I currently have. No progress with my scratch off card game. Still haven't read Never Have I Ever. What a bummer. I need to get to it. I have not been doing a lot with my anticipated releases simply because, guys, I'm trying not to order more books and pre-order more books because I have so much already on my backlist and things that I want to get to. So still haven't read any of these for the Midnight Society Book Club. No updates there. I do have to update my Water Moon. This is my book club with my best friend and I, and we did pick Water Moon and we read that. And it was a 3-star read for me. So there is that. And we have picked a couple more things for that. So we did pick as our next read tomorrow. So I am adding that to here. Okay, so this one's going right there. And I have not started that yet, but hope to do so soon. All right. So then I have my Read Around the World challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and try to complete this now, and I'll speed you through it. guys, so I was able to complete 2 parts of the map for Read Around the World Challenge. The Night Guest takes place in Iceland, so boom, I was able to mark that down. And then Picnic at Hanging Rock takes place in Australia, so I was able to complete that one as well. And this has proven to be pretty difficult because it's just a lot of the same places over and over again. Like everything taking place in the US is kind of in the same spots. New York and Texas and California. And then I read apparently a lot of things that take place in the UK or in England or in Japan. And yeah, it seems to be a little difficult. So I'll see what I do with this challenge next year. It is my first year testing this out. Okay, so this month I only had a 1 5-star, which was Danganronpa Volume 1. So I'm going to go ahead and add my little sticker, which I had already prepped for, and I had here. And I'm going to move it to right over here. So these have been all my 5-star reads this year. So excited. I did anticipate having a little more, I must say. I thought I would have 2 pages, or 2 spreads, I should say, full, but not yet. All right, so this Tackle Your TBR is almost completed. So I'm going to go ahead and skip this one for now, simply because I do need to find a way of incorporating these next numbers back here. Okay, so that's going to take me a little bit to troubleshoot. New month, new favorite. So I do have a new favorite for the month of July. And that, of course, is going to be Danganronpa Volume 1. And I mentioned in my wrap-up for July that, it's kind of wild that out of all the things I read, this manga was my favorite read, but I am a little biased. I love this story. I've played the video game. I'm a big fan of the characters and the premise. So, yeah, it didn't disappoint. It was my favorite. So now I'm going to add, this is my bracket, right? So I'm going to add my favorite July again. I need another Danganronpa. So let me cut that one out. Take out Family Experiment for a minute. Here's my Danganronpa. So that's my favorite for the month of July. Can't believe, guys, we are midway through August already. And it's just wild. I feel like I was just prepping this reading journal to start, and look at us now. Okay, so here is my favorite for July. Let me erase a couple of these lines. All of this. These erasers are so good. And then I'm going to label this July. It's my favorite July book. And believe it or not, quarter 1 and quarter 2 had to face off. I know I told you last update that I would sleep on it and I would get back to you. And yeah, You Are Fatally Invited is a semifinal, guys. So far, You Are Fatally Invited is my favorite book of the first half of the year. Incredible. But it is. If you have not read this, if you are a fan of murder mysteries, if you're a fan of the Clue board game, I mean, read this. I can't recommend it enough. And I'm super excited. And this is a debut, by the way, guys. This is Andy Pliegel's debut. And I follow her on Instagram, and she just very recently released info on her newest book. And I'm just so excited. Okay. So this is a semi-finalist. Let's go ahead and label that. Semi-finalist for my favorite book of the year. And there's just something, when I read that book, I knew that was a big contender for favorite book of the year. It's just, I don't know. I can't explain it. If you want my complete thoughts, there's plenty of videos where I can't stop talking about that book, so I won't do that here. But lots of my videos talk about it. So top 10 books of 2025. Can't narrow that down yet, but that's there for the future. And now we'll go ahead and skip through to my July TBR and my July bingo. And we're going to see how we did. So, let me grab a highlighter. Let me grab a green pen. Fun green pen. Let's do that. All right, guys. So let's see if I read everything on my TBR. Danganronpa Volume 1. Yup. The Night Guest. Yup. Midnight on Beacon Street. Did not get to it. Graveyard Shift. I did read. Saturday Night Ghost Club. I did read. Man, F This House. Have not finished. With a Vengeance. Haven't gotten to it. All Fours I did read. Water Moon I did read. Did not get to Murder at the Vicarage. I did read The Indigo Room. I did start my murder mystery word search puzzle, but I have not finished it. So let me very quickly go back and see what was missing. Danganronpa Volume 1. Night Guest is there. Graveyard Shift is there. Saturday Night Ghost Club is there. I don't have Picnic at Hanging Rock. Picnic at Hanging Rock. So I'm adding that one. Water Moon was there. Indigo Room was there. Jackknife was not. So then let me go ahead and highlight these. And those are the 9 books I ended up reading. Perfect. Now let's see if we got bingo. Okay, so let me test this out. A book with a summer theme. Not sure about that. Oh yes, Picnic at Hanging Rock. That kind of feels summery, even though it's February. Not sure. A book with an author whose first name starts with an H. First name with an H. Yes, The Night Guest, Hildur. So this is The Night Guest. Hildur, not Stutter. That counts. Okay, let's see. A book written by a female author. I have plenty of those. Let's see, what else? A book based in the future. Not really. A book about a different culture. I think I can do either Danganronpa or Water Moon. A book set in a place you have visited before. Not really. I mean, I visited California and New York. She never makes it to New York in All Fours, but I've been to California, so I'll put California for that. A book you can finish in a day, Danganronpa, so I'll use it for that. A book with a white cover, Danganronpa as well. Wow, man. So let's go ahead and do this. A book with a white cover, I only have Danganronpa, so I'm going to add that. Danganronpa Volume 1. A book I can finish in a day, I'm going to put Indigo Room or Jackknife. I'm going to put Indigo Room. A book about a different culture, I'm going to pick Water Moon. No book in the future. A book written by a female author. I'm going to do Miranda July. Oh, Joan Lindsay. I can do Joan Lindsay for that. So Joan Lindsay's Picnic at Hanging Rock. Okay. Then a book set in a place I visited before, California. So I'm going to do all fours. Set in the future, I don't have. And a book with a summer theme doesn't really work. Okay. So let's see if we got bingo, which clearly we did. So we have bingo going this way, bingo going this way, bingo going this way. No bingo here, no bingo here. All right, I think I got them all. Sometimes I don't. Oh, see, I always miss one. Bingo going this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4 bingos. Wow, this was a good one. All right, so now I need to write down all of my August books that are on my TBR. So I'm going to go ahead and start writing those down, and I will speed you through this part. All right, guys, so this is what I currently have as my August TBR, keeping it kind of short on here. Okay, then September, October, November, and December. All right, so now let me go ahead and input these numbers for my stats, and I will get back to you to talk to you about them momentarily. All right, so I updated my stats for July. I read 1,766 pages, which is not the least I've read, but it's not the highest either. I read 9 books total, 4 novels, 4 novellas, and 1 graphic novel or manga. My average for the month was 3.44 stars. 8 of those authors were new to me. 1 was an author that I was familiar with. 1 was a new release. 2 were reads on my Kindle. 0 were 100% audio. 6 of those were combo reads, audio and physical. And 3 of them were purely physical reads. Those were my stats for the month. So these are previous things. Let's see if I can fill in any of these book bingos. Did I read anything over 600 pages? No, I did not. A book with more than 2 authors. Did I read anything like that? No. A book that has been banned? Not really. A Newbery Award winner. A book written by a celebrity. Okay, can't really update anything there. I still haven't read The Wedding People, so no progress on Roll Your Read. Let's see if we have any thrillers that fulfill some of these things. School setting. Memory loss. Well, school setting, yes, actually. I can go ahead and put down Picnic at Hanging Rock. But I also have memory loss, Picnic at Hanging Rock. So I think I'll go ahead and put it for memory loss. Picnic at Hanging Rock. Creepy Kids. We had the Indigo Room Kid and the Saturday Night Ghost Club Kids. We're not really creepy per se. Okay, I'm gonna leave that for now. For the Oprah Book Club, I will be reading Culpability. I will also be reading that with my booktube friends, Michelle and Dee. Michelle from Literary Me and Dee from the Reading Room 1972. So I will be reading this as a buddy read with them. We do quite a few buddy reads together. So putting that there. For the Good Morning America book club, I'm going to be writing down for August, Not Quite Dead Yet. Hopefully I can get to it. Really excited about this one. I love Holly Jackson. Kayla's Besties book club. Awesome. I did make some updates there as I was able to finish reading Watermoon. I still have to pick up Emily Wilde's books. So haven't read those, but I am adding my rating for Watermoon for that. I did not get to finish any of these that are still carrying over. I did do quite a few buddy reads. So I have here my All Fours buddy read. I also have The Family Experiment, which I will be reading with Jackie from Reading Wordsmith. Putting that on there. I do have to include pictures of the thumbnails for these. We already did the blurb game. Summerween. I do need to print out some of my photos. I did update everything here. So let me just go ahead and transfer some of these titles over here. So A Book with a Sky on the Cover, The Saturday Night Ghost Club. Okay, so we're adding that one. Read a novella manga or listen to a spooky audiobook. So my manga was Danganronpa. Volume number 1. So I'm going to put for horror or thriller in, well, I read most of these at night, so I think I can go ahead and put any of them for that. Horror or thriller, I can use any of those. And a book I have owned for more than a year, I'm going to go ahead and put The Night Guest. Okay, so I'm going to put The Night Guest for number 4. Okay. And then horror or thriller book, Graveyard Shift. And books that I read at night, I read them all. I read all of these at night and before bed. Okay, so then what I do need to do is print out a couple of my Instagram posts on there. And now let's kind of fill in my bingo. So watch a scary movie. I watched quite a few of these. I did watch Friday the 13th again. Read a book with 6 words in the title. Don't know if I have that. Bake a fall inspired treat. My husband and I did make our cinnamon cakes. Read a thriller or horror book. Read a book that takes place in the desert. Listen to a Halloween playlist. Read a book outside. Read a book with a night sky on the cover. The Saturday night book club. Ghost club. The Saturday night ghost club. Thriller or horror. Thriller or horror book. Did I put the night guess? No. Okay. Read a book in the dark. I'm going to put Graveyard Shift. Okay. Don't think I read anything outside. Read. Okay, so I think that's all I was able to do. So, not sure if I was able to get a bingo. Yes, I did. I got it this way. All right, so at least we got one bingo. Not terrible. We got bingo this way. All right. So we got something. All right. And then I did participate in Jen's book club, Literary Love 123. We read Picnic at Hanging Rock together, and I will be printing out the thumbnail for here as I was a co-host for that show. And we will be reading, hopefully, Crypt of the Moon Spider here for this month. Books over 400 pages. Don't think I read another one, so nothing for big books of summer. Let me see if we have anything for Sell Your Soul. Don't think I have anything for here. Anything here? Nothing so far. Nothing so far. And nothing so far here. All right. Wow, guys. This is finally updated for the month of July, even though I'm a little bit behind, about 2 weeks behind. So that is pretty much my update for my reading journal this month. Thank you so much for watching this. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Please make sure you like this video, share it with a friend of yours that's also into journaling or bujos or reading, as maybe they can enjoy it as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please make sure you do that. It really does help me and motivate me to keep going with this little passion project of mine, which is YouTube. So once again, thank you guys. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to talking to you in the next one. Bye.